example we have here, let us consider a 200 kVA synchronous generator of 480 volts and 50 hertz Y connected with a rated field current of 5 amperes is tested for the following data. Uh, the open circuit voltage is equals to 540 volts at the rated IF, and the short circuit current is 300 amperes at the rated IF. When a DC voltage of 10 volt was applied to two of the terminals, the current of 25 amperes was measured. Find the generator's model at the rated conditions. That is armature resistance and the approximate synchronous reactance. Since it is a Y connected, DC voltage was applied in between its two phases. Therefore, resistance can be easily find out by the formula VDC upon IDC. So RA is equals to resistance, DC voltage, which is a 10 volt applied across two terminals, and 2 into I of DC. 2 is just because two terminals means two phases we have considered. So it's a resistance of two phases. So 2 into IDC. Therefore, the value of resistance of armature circuit is 0.2 ohm. The internal generator voltage and the rated field current is Vt by root 3. So 540 by root 3 is equals to 311.8 volts. Synchronous reactance Xs is equals to Zs square minus Ra square, which equals to, if we introduce the values of applicable parameters into the equations, we will get the value of synchronous reactance equals to 1.02 ohms. So we have the values of parameters, resistance and the reactance. So if we put these values into the equivalent circuit, we will have uh, the required things. That is, uh, if you see the equivalent circuit, this is of the field and this is of the armature. So resistance is 0.2 ohm. This is J 1.02. This is J has been considered because this is the inductive circuit. Reactance is very much greater as compared to the resistance. So therefore, uh, always means as we have calculated all these values, if you even compare this 1.02 and 0.2, so reactance value is much greater as compared to the resistance value. For the calculation purpose, it needs us to consider the resistance and the reactance separately. But if we look into the previous circuits where we have neglected the value of resistance just because its value is far less as compared to the synchronous reactance. So this is the equivalent circuit of the synchronous generator in given numerical example. The synchronous generator, when it is operating alone, let us see. The behavior of the synchronous generator varies greatly under the load, depending on the power factor of the load and on whether the generator is working alone or in parallel with other synchronous generators or not. Although most of the synchronous generators in the world operates as a part of large power system, so we start our discussion assuming that the synchronous generator works alone. Unless otherwise stated, the speed of the generator is assumed constant. So very few we will get the cases where synchronous generators are operating alone. Almost the synchronous generator which are connected or which are feeding power to the large power system, they are operated in tandem or in connection, or to that particular large power system many generators are supplying power. So we can say that Synchronous generators are working in parallel when they're supplying to the large system. Let's consider that the synchronous generator is working alone, and because of this, speed of the generator is assumed to be a constant. An increase in the load is an increase in the real and or reactive power drawn from the generator. So whenever there is an increase in the load, more power, either it may be the real power or reactive power, is been extracted by the system or by the load. Since the field resistor is unaffected, field current is constant, and therefore the flux is constant too. Since the speed is assumed to be constant, the magnitude of internal generator voltage is constant also. Assuming the same power factor of the load, change in the load will change the magnitude of armature current. However, the angle will be the same due to the a constant power factor. Therefore, the armature reaction voltage will be larger for the increased load, since the magnitude of the internal generator voltage is constant. uh, that is EA is equals to terminal voltage plus the drop across the synchronous reactance XS into IA. Armature reaction voltage vector will move parallel to its initial position. So whenever there is excess amount of load onto the system, uh, there will be a more current will be extracted by the armature circuit, and when we have the more current from the armature circuit, we'll have more drop across the synchronous reactance. So that is can be get cleared from this. So we will have two cases. EA is the usual case, and E dash A is the case where there is increase in load. The first phasor diagram is for the lagging power factor, second for the leading power factor, and third for the unity power factor. So whenever there is increase in load, the drop across the resistive part and the reactive part, that is synchronous reactance, will increase and effective terminal voltage will decrease. So whenever there is a excessive amount of requirement of power from the system, then its capacity. So armature circuit of the synchronous generator uh, have more and more current, or the magnitude of the armature current will increase. As a result of that, the drop across resistive component and the inductive component, which is a synchronous reactance, will increase, and as a result of this, the voltage, that is terminal voltage or effective voltage available across the terminals of the generator, will get reduced. Generally, when the load on the synchronous generator is added, the following changes can be observed. For the lagging power factor from the previous phasor diagrams, we will have conclusive statements. For lagging, which is inductive loads, the phase voltage decreases significantly. For unity power factor, voltage decreases very slightly. And for leading power factor, voltage is increasing. Effects of adding loads can be described by the voltage regulation. So one more important parameter for the system, which is voltage regulation. V no load minus V full load divided by V full load into 100 in terms of percentage, where uh, we will get the voltage regulation from the available values of the system. A synchronous generator operating at a lagging power factor has a fairly large positive voltage regulation. A synchronous generator operating at a unity power factor has small positive voltage regulation, and a synchronous generator operating at leading power factor often has a negative voltage regulation. Normally, A constant terminal voltage applied by a generator is desired. Since the armature reactance cannot be controlled, an obvious approach to adjust the terminal voltage is by controlling the internal generated voltage EA, which is equals to K into phi into omega. This may be done by changing the flux in the machine while varying the value of the field resistance RF, which is summarized. Decreasing the field resistance increases the field current in the generator, the first case. The second case, an increase in the field current increases the flux in the machine. An increased flux leads to increase the internal generated voltage. An increase in the internal generator voltage increases the terminal voltage of the generator. So if we reduce the field resistance, which will ultimately increase the field current, as field current increases, the flux will increase. This leads means whenever there is an increase in flux, there will be increase in internal generated voltage. When we have the increase in internal generated voltage, there will be the increase in the terminal voltage of the generator. So this is how we can achieve the stable condition in case of synchronous generator whenever there is a excess amount of requirement or excess amount of load from the system. When we want or when the system needs to work under the stable condition, under the increased load condition, either we have to reduce the field resistance, or we have the second option is by increasing the field excitation. Then next comes the power and torque in synchronous generator. A synchronous generator needs to be connected to a prime mover whose speed is reasonably constant. This is just to ensure the output, that is the frequency, rather constant frequency and the constant voltage for the various changing load conditions. The applied mechanical power mathematically is given by the expression P in is equals to tau into omega m, is partially converted to electricity, which is given by 3 into EA into IA cos of gamma, where it is gamma is the angle. You may refer the phi, it is the angle in between voltage and the current. If you observe the power flow diagram of the synchronous generator, right from the input to the output, we have various stages or various convergence stages. Here, when we'll feed the power from the input side, we will have the stray losses, friction and windage losses, core losses, I square R losses, that which are the copper losses. And apart from this, we will get the power output from the synchronous generator, which is given by root 3 VTI into cos of theta. The real power output from the synchronous generator is given by root 3 VTIL cos of theta. And the reactive power output, that is Q out, is equals to root 3 V2 into IL into sine of theta. As already we have seen, the power factor angle theta is the angle in between the voltage and the current, and not in between VT and IL. It is in between the parameters of the armature circuit, not of the field circuit. Then the real synchronous machine of any size, the armature resistance is far less as compared to the synchronous reactance. Already we have seen this concept. Therefore, armature resistance can be ignored. Therefore, simplified phasor diagram consists only a reactive drop across the reactive component, which is a synchronous reactance. And the formula for IA cos of theta is equals to EA sine delta divided by XS. Then the power and torque in a synchronous generator. Uh, the equation is given by P out approximately equals to 3 into V EA into sine delta by XS. If you observe, the electrical losses are assumed to be zero since resistance is neglected. Therefore, P output power is equals to the machine power. Delta is the torque angle of the machine, and it is in between the terminal voltage and the induced EMF. For the maximum, that is when power will be the maximum, its value is equals to the 90 degrees. So therefore, uh, if you put 90, delta is equals to 90 in the first formula of P out, we will get the maximum power. So 3 into V5 into EA divided by XS. Then the power and torque in the synchronous generators. The maximum power specified is called the static stability limit of the generator, which machine can deliver under the stable condition. Normally, real generators do not approach this limit. Full load torque angles are usually in between 15 degrees to 20 degrees. This is very important that for the real working generators, the load angle or torque angle lies in between 15 degrees to 20 degrees. The induced torque is given by the mathematical expression K into BR into B net sine delta. Delta is the angle in between rotor magnetic field BR and the net magnetic field B net. Alternatively, induced torque can be calculated with the help of formula 3 into V phi EA sine delta divided by omega m into XS. So this is all about the fundamentals of synchronous machine. Already it is been covered in the machines 1 and might be machines 2 where you have studied the synchronous machine. This is just for the revision. Next lecture onwards, we will deal with the actual modeling of the synchronous generator.